Hello everyone, welcome to the Microsoft Excel Workshop, presented to you by Broward College, North Campus, Computer Science and Engineering Department. Today, we'll go over a few things in Excel, the basics. We'll go over inputting formulas, formatting, cell styles, cell merging, and we'll also show you how to include pie graphs, as well as manually inputting formulas by yourself and inputting a bar graph, resizing columns, and showing you how to do conditional formatting with formulas. The first thing you'll need is to open up a blank sheet of Excel, a blank worksheet. And once you have that open, it should look like this in front of you. And the first sheet that we're going to go over is called a budget sheet. So when you have a Microsoft Excel sheet, the first thing you want to do is title it. And the title of this sheet is called budget sheet. So we're going to type that into cell A in all caps. Once you have that in, you can press enter. Now, with your budget sheet, you want your title to be centered. So what you're going to do is select from cell A, B, C, D, and E with your mouse. So you're going to click on it, click on cell A, hold it, and drag it all the way down to E. And to center it and to merge it, what you're going to go over to is the alignment tab. Within the alignment tab, you'll see this little square right here with the two arrows pointed in both directions. This stands for merge and center. You can also hit the drop down button right next to it, right here, and you'll see the options that it gives you. We're going to do merge and center. And once you merge and center, it should look like this. So cells A through E will be merged, and the words that you have within cell A should be centered throughout cell A through E. And when you're doing a merge and center, you can only do it if only one cell out of the many cells that you're merging has something in it. Meaning, if cell A had something in it written and cell B had something in it written, you could not merge and center because those are two different topics, subjects, and two different cells that have writing or typing within them. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to go right below and we're going to type in the budgets that we have.
Go ahead.
Alright. First thing we're going to put in is in cell A2, we're going to put in husband. And then we're going to press enter, and it's going to go down to cell A3, and we're going to put wife. And right here, we want to put in more columns above husband, but we realize that we put it in the wrong cells. So what we're going to do, we're going to highlight both cell A2 and A3, and we're going to go over here to the side, on right here, the green side, and you should see a dark cross appear. And what you're going to do is click on it, hold it, and drag it down. and you see that now you have a space above. and cell A2 is clear. So now in cell A2, you're going to write person. And you're going to press tab on the keyboard, and that's going to take you right on over to the next spot, which is B2, the next cell. And in that cell, you're going to write gross income. And you're going to also press tab, and that's going to skip to cell C2. And you're going to write taxes. And then you're going to press tab once again. And that's going to skip you over to cell D2. And in D2, you're going to write net income. And you're going to press enter. Now clearly, you see right here, you can see the word person fully, and you can see the word taxes fully. But there's an issue. Gross income is missing, and you want gross income to show. So what you're going to do is auto-fit the windows. To auto-fit the windows manually, you're going to go up here to the letters, the cell letters, that tell you which cell and which row you're in. And right between them, you're going to see a little bar, a little gray bar between them. And you place your mouse over that little gray bar, and you're going to see a black cross appear just like this, without arrows on the top and without arrows on the bottom. And what you're going to do is double click that. And that auto-fits the window for cell A. And the reason you auto-fit is because you want all the words in each cell to appear. And we're going to move over to between B and C, and we're going to double click until you see that gross income fully show. Then you're going to click over to cell C, and you're going to double click, and it auto fits taxes to the window, so taxes doesn't have so much space anymore. And you see net income overflowing from cell D to cell E. So what you're going to do is between cell D and E, you're going to double click, and it should look like that. Now, the husband and wife, say they're a pretty wealthy family, so the husband is making, say, monthly, well, we'll say around $2 million. $2,500,000. So we're going to type in 2500000. And for the wife, she's making about the same, just $25,000 less. 25, yeah. So in that, we'll type in 2500000. Well, I didn't do the math right now. But this is a great moment. Say I don't know how much he's really making. So we're gonna put in an equation to find out how much she's making. Since she's making $25,000 less than her husband, we're gonna manually input $2,500,000. And right in front of that 2, we're gonna place an equal sign to start an equation. And we're going to subtract from 2 million. Make sure there's a space between that equal sign and the first digit. And we're going to subtract 25,000 from 2.5 million. And that is the number you should get. So if you didn't see that clearly, I'll do it once again for you. Type in, you clear this out. First off, to start the equation, you put in an equal sign, equal, and then you type in 2,500,000, and then you subtract 25,000 from it. And that's how much you should get. And moving over to taxes. Say they get taxed, each one gets taxed about $120. Each one gets taxed about $120,000 monthly. And to get their net income for the month, as a matter of fact, since this is a monthly budget, we're going to go back to cell A1 and we're going to type in monthly. And this is how you can change your cells throughout the time that you're working on Excel. You can go back and forth and you double click inside the box. See, if you're off the box and then you just type in monthly, it's going to delete itself. So what you want to do is double click inside the box. Then you're able to type whatever it is that you want to type in. So now we're back here at net income. So to find out the husband's net income, we're going to have to do some subtracting. Taxes are basically what gets taken out of your paycheck monthly or bi-weekly or whenever it is that you get paid. So since they're being taken out of your gross income, you have to subtract your taxes from your gross income, and that'll be your net income. So to do an equation, once again, we're going to enter in an equal sign. And because it's really tedious to write in a bunch of numbers, we're just going to click on cell B3, and we're going to put the subtraction sign. We're going to subtract from cell B3, we're going to subtract cell C3 from B3. And we're going to press enter. And that should be the number that you also get. And to find out the net income of the wife, you're going to also do the same thing. You're going to put in an equal sign. And you're also going to press cell B4. And from that, you're going to subtract cell C4. And there you have it. The net income of both the husband and the wife. Now, because they're husband and wife and all their money goes into one bank account, you're going to add up their net income together to get their total income. So right here, you're going to, in cell A5, you're going to type in total. And right here in cell D5, you're going to put another equation. You're going to put an equal sign, and then you're going to tap cell D3. You're going to add in, using the plus sign on your keyboard, you're going to add in cell D4. And you're going to press enter. So together, monthly, this couple makes $4,735,000 monthly. So now, where we want to find out their monthly budget, so now we have to see what their expenses are first, because when you have an income, before you can splurge and do whatever it is that you want to do with your money, or save or invest or whatever it is that you want to do, you have to put aside or pay your bills. So they have a mortgage to pay off. So type in cell A7. We're actually going to delete mortgage. We're going to type in expenses. And we're going to also format that the same way we did with monthly budget sheet. In cell A2, so in cell A7, we're going to take it and drag it all the way down to cell B7. And right back up here to the alignment button, we're going to click the drop down arrow and we're going to press merge and center. And the first expense is, well, actually before we write down their expense, we're going to put right here, we're going to put item, and we're going to tab over and we're going to put price. So right here, first item on the agenda is mortgage. We're going to press enter. The next item is car notes. The next item, food. Next item, clothes. Next item, savings. Next item is investing. Alright, once again, we see that some of the words are spilling over into the next column, from cell A9 into cell D9. So what we're going to do is go back up here between cell A and B, and that little line you see there, you're going to take your mouse, you're going to scroll up, and you're going to double click, and it should look like that. Now, because they're very wealthy, we're going to go back down to A9, so cell A9, and we're going to tab over, and we should be in cell B9. And their mortgage is about $500,000 a month. And their car note, because they have about 6 cars, their car note is going to be about $150,000 a month. It's only them two in the house, so they never really want to stay home and eat. They always want to go out. They don't have children, so they like to go to the fanciest restaurants and order the highest priced foods. So for food, monthly, they keep a budget of $30,000. And we forgot about the drinks. So what we're gonna go we're gonna go back and click on cell B11, and we're gonna double click to edit what was first put in cell B11. And we're going to put in a 1, so that's in front of the 3, so that means monthly they spend $130,000 on food. And for clothing, they like to go out to Italy and New York, and they like to travel to go and buy their clothes. So now we're going to put in $200,000 monthly. And for the savings, they don't quite believe in saving so much, so we're going to put in $50,000 for saving. And for investing, they believe a lot in investing, so we're going to put $300,000 in investing monthly. And remember, I said they like to travel, so now we're going to go back down to cell A15 and we're going to put in travel. And for travel, that includes their hotel, rental cars, where we're going to put in roughly around $160,000 monthly. Wow. A lot of money being spent. How are we going to calculate all these numbers? And we're trying to do this very quickly. What we're going to do is click right here on cell B9 and drag all the way down to cell B15, and we're going to go up to the editing tab, and right here you'll see this Greek sign, and this stands for sum. And monthly, this is their total amount of expenses. So right next to that number, we're going to write down total. So total monthly, they spend $1,490,000 monthly, and that's their expenses monthly. So now we're trying to figure out basically what's their budget for anything else that they want to just do or give away, because they have several foundations and they don't include that into their budget. So whatever money they have left, they just give that away to charity and foundations and to church. They split that up, and to find out what it is that they can split up, and how many days they have, whether or not they want to split it up or whether they just want to continue spending more on more things, and basically just having a daily budget or a weekly budget. To find that out, we have to take their total cost of expenses and subtract that from their total monthly income, their monthly net income. So, to find out their monthly budget, we're going to right here in cell B18, we're gonna type in budgets, and we're gonna take cell B18, click on it, and drag all the way down to cell C, and we're gonna merge and center. And we're gonna click in cell B19, and we're gonna type in monthly. We're gonna press enter, and we're gonna press and type in weekly. And we're also going to press enter and type in daily. And the monthly cell, to find out how much they have monthly to budget with, we're going to go right here. First, we're going to click in the equal sign, and then we're going to go scroll up, and we're going to type in cell. We're actually going to click on cell B5, which is their total net income. And right here you see that selected. We see that in there, and you're going to subtract from that. You're going to subtract from that the total amount of expenses they have, the total cost of expenses they have, which is in cell B16. And that's how it should look. And what you're going to do is press enter. And monthly, their budget is $3,245,000. And to find out their weekly budget, how much they can spend weekly, the month has 4 weeks in it. So what we're going to do is press the equal sign, and we're going to take their monthly budget, which is in cell B19. Click on B19 after you type in the equal sign in cell B20. And you're going to subtract from that. Actually, you're not even going to subtract. You're going to divide that by the number 4. And it should look like this. Look for this sign on your keyboard and tap that if you want to know what it is to divide manually. And press enter. And weekly, they can spend $811,250. Now, to find out how much they can spend daily, we're going to type in the equal sign. We're going to click on cell B21, and we're going to divide that by how many days they have in a week. Hopefully you know how many days they are in a week, and if not, there are 7 days in a week. So this means they can spend $115,892. This is per day. This is their daily budget. So that means if they want to send a charity or to a school or to a wrestling team, so daily they can give to whoever they want $115,892.85. Now you see these numbers right here, 85 after the dot, 0.8571, and you see all these numbers, and you want to see the commas, and you want to know basically. You want to make it easier for yourself to look at and for you to know. And if you're presenting this to a group, you don't want to present it just like this. So here's where the formatting comes in. First thing we're going to do is format the numbers. So in you're going to click on cell B3 and drag all the way down to cell D5. And it should look like this. And what you're going to do is go up to the Numbers tab. And right here, you'll see these options. And this is the accounting option. If you don't have this on your screen, what you could do is click on this drop-down list, and you can go down to accounting. And your numbers should change just like that. And you want to do the same for cell B9 to B16. As well as cells B19 to B21. And it should look like this. And now say you're going to present this to someone or present this to a group and you want this to look really nice. What you're going to do is format it, and we're going to go all the way to cell 1A, A1, and we're going to go to Home. We're going to click on Home, and right under Styles, you're going to see Cell Styles. You're going to click on that, and a drop-down list is going to present itself. And you're going to give it heading 1. And right here in cell A2 to D2, as a matter of fact, you're going to go all the way down to E2. And you're going to give that the heading style 2. And right up here, you still see gross income and like hidden off. So what you're going to do is click between cells B and C, double click to auto fit to window. And it should look like that. And right here, you want the total to be highlighted, and you're going to go back to cell styles, and right under cell styles you'll see total. Total should be here, right here next to title, and it should look like that. You're going to give cell A7 the same style you gave cell A1, which is heading style 1. You're going to do the same. You're going to highlight from A8 to D8, and you're going to give it heading style 2, and you're going to make this total right here. You're going to make the cell style total, and you're going to click on cell B16, and you're going to go down to font, and you're going to make this font red. And you're going to click on cell A18, and you're going to give that style heading 1. And you're going to click on cells A19 through B19 through B21. You're going to give that style calculation. And with that style, with those cells still selected, you're going to give that font, you're going to give it a green font. And it should look like this. And the reason I put red is because that's how much you're coming out of your pocket, and I put green, that's because that's a signal of go. That's how much you have to spend. And right here in the total, we're also going to put that as green. And there you go. That, my friend, is how you create a monthly budget sheet. You have your expenses and you have your budget, your monthly budget, letting you know how much you can spend monthly, letting you know how much you can spend weekly, letting you know how much you can spend daily. Now, you can take out the wife's or the husband, you can put in your name, and you can put in your gross income, the taxes they take away from you, your net income, and you can put in your expenses at the prices that your expenses cost, and you can calculate your budget. Now, I'm going to show you one quick thing. When you change a calculation, if you entered your calculations incorrectly, everything should change besides the net income. If you change this right here, in cell B12 to $500,000, your monthly budget should decrease as well as your weekly and daily. And say we decrease that cell B12 to $1,000, then the monthly budget should shoot back up. Say we don't have that many car notes to pay anymore. We only have $20,000 worth of car notes to pay. Our monthly budget shoots back up. Say we only spend $2,000 on food. Our monthly budget goes up. Say if we don't travel at all that month, our monthly budget goes up. Say mortgage, we're done paying mortgage. We have no mortgage. Our monthly budget shoots back up and all the calculations change. And that's how it should look. And that is a complete monthly budget sheet.
Hello, my name is Mikkel, and today we're going to be covering a basic payroll report in Excel. I'll start by just typing in the information, and then we'll go on to include formulas, a little bit of formatting, and we'll create a column chart afterwards. To get right into it, we're going to start typing here in A1. Just type payroll, then press enter. And then I'm going to type in the week that the payroll is for. So I'm going to type week of March 17th, next week, 2014. And then I'm going to leave a little space. I'm going to come down here to A4 and I'll type in my titles. We'll start with the name of the employee, then press tab, and we'll do the hourly wage. Tab again, the hours worked. Tab again, gross pay. Tab, taxes. And the last one will be net pay. And then just press enter and it will take you down to A5 where we'll start typing in each individual's information. So just making up some names here. I'll start with Paul, press enter, and you fill in the names of your employees. I have 4 employees here, so at the end of this list, I'll put total, which I'll calculate later. Coming back up here to the hourly wage column, we'll click in B5 and type in the hourly wages of each person. 15 an hour for Paul, 18 for John, 16.3 for Ringo, and 12 for George. Then I'll continue on to the hours worked. Click on that column, C5, and type in the hours. And that's all the information we're going to actually type in. Everything else we're going to use formulas that are built in and some that are already done for us to get the numbers for the rest of this information. For the gross pay, click on cell D5 and we'll calculate the gross pay for Paul. To do an Excel formula, you start with the equal sign, click on the first cell that you want to include in your formula, in this case B5. Then we'll put times, since we want to find out the gross pay, and the number of hours that Paul has worked. And you click on that. Once you see this, press enter, and Excel automatically calculates the value based on the numbers you've selected. We'll do the same thing for the rest of them. Equals to start, click on the first number, times, click on the next number, the hours worked for John. Press enter, and we'll just continue and do the same things for the others. Equals, times, and the last one again. Equals to start, hourly wage, So if you make a mistake like I did, like I was in the wrong cell when I typed it, you can always press the escape key in the top left to exit what you've done and leave what was there in the cell originally. Coming back to the correct cell, I'll delete this and start again. Equals, now for the taxes, it will be a similar formula, except everyone is taxed a flat 15% based on their gross pay. So I'll do equals the gross pay times 15% and press enter. Now instead of typing the formula over and over again, like I just did with gross pay, I can click on the first formula that I entered, and down in the corner you'll see a little green square. This square is the fill handle. If you click on that and drag the mouse downward, you'll see a little box where the formula will go, and it will copy this formula using the new numbers and multiplying times the 15% that I typed in. And you can see as I double click on each one, this one's D5, this one's D6, and it's moved down. And the rest are the same. For the net pay, it's simply the gross pay minus their taxes. So I'll press equals to start, click on gross pay, minus the taxes, and press enter. And I'll use the fill handle again. You click on the first formula that you typed in, point to the green square in the corner, the fill handle. You should see a solid cross with no arrows on it, and pull down till your last employee, and it automatically calculates. The next thing we're going to do is use a built-in Excel formula, the sum function. What it will do is automatically add each of these columns for us without having to do a formula using the plus sign. To do that, you just click in the cell that you want to have the formula in our case B9, then you move up to the top right and you'll see the sum button. There's a lot more if you click on the arrow here. You'll see a list of them. We're going to just use the sum function and click on that. Coming back here to the hourly wage, we can see that Excel has already highlighted what it assumes that we want to add. In this particular case it is correct, but you always want to double check it. If it's not correct, you can change it right here. You just delete that and type in the correct section that you want added. Since that is correct, I'm just going to press enter, and this is our formula. Just like with our taxes and net pay, we can copy this formula by pointing to the green fill handle in the bottom right corner of the cell. You just click on it, hold the mouse down, and drag all the way across to get the totals for each of our columns. The next thing I'll cover is just doing some basic formatting. It's a little bit of a review if you've seen our previous video. The first thing I'll do is highlight A1 to F1 and use the merge and center button here in the alignment tab, alignment group. I'll do the same thing for A2 to F2. Same merge and center. Now to give it a little color, I'll click on payroll, come up to cell styles, and I'll just choose one that I like. This is the title, so I'll just choose title here. For the next one, I'll also choose title in my cell styles menu. But I'll make the font a little smaller. Up here it's at 18. I'll take it down to 14 so it doesn't stick out as much as payroll. The next thing I'll do is the cell styles again. I'll highlight A4 to F4 and use cell styles, the heading 3 style. You can see that hourly wage and hours worked don't fit in that cell, so I can resize it using the resizing handle between the columns. Another way to do it is up here, just above merge and center, you'll see this little icon, wrap text. With the cell highlighted, if you click on this, you'll see that instead of stretching it into one bigger column, I stack the words so the column can be smaller since the numbers are not that large. Talking about the numbers, we can see that some of them are showing 3 decimals, some are showing no decimals. We can't even tell if this is money. So what we'll do first is highlight our hourly wages and apply the accounting format up here in the number group. This little $sign is the accounting format. You can also find it here in this drop down. The hours worked is just hours, so we don't need any $signs for that. But for the gross pay, taxes, and net pay, we'll want to add $signs as well. So I'll start from gross pay in D5, highlight across and down to F9, and apply the accounting format. I'll use the little quick shortcut here. One last formatting that's common is the total line. This total line from A9 to F9, there's a cell style made just for that. If you come up to cell styles, you'll see the total cell style next to the title cell style. Once I apply this, you can see that my numbers have disappeared. All I see now are these pound signs. The reason for that is that the column is too small for this number. So I'll need to come up here between the D and E, double click, and resize the column so it's big enough to fit my number. I'll do that for E and F as well. The last thing I want to go over is creating a chart. In order to create a chart, the easiest thing to do is to first highlight what you want a chart of. In my case, I want the names of the people and their net pay. So start by highlighting the name heading and each of my 4 employees. Release the mouse button. Then hold the Control key on the bottom left hand side of the keyboard. Come over to net pay, click and drag down. Don't include the total, and then release. Once that's highlighted, you can go to the Insert tab, click on that, and you'll see a new set of options. Here in the Charts group, I'll create a column chart. And you have a few different options. If you point over each one, you can see how they look as a preview, and just click the one that you like the most. So this chart is too big, so I'm going to resize it. Here in the top right hand corner, you can also see it in the middle, and the bottom right hand corner, also in the middle bottom and left hand corner. Just like pictures, you can click on any one of those, drag it, and make it the size that you want. Now I'm just going to move it over here to the right side of my chart, of my information. You can see it's still a little too big, so before I move it, I'm going to shrink it down a little more. The last thing that we'll cover is conditional formatting. If you have a long list of employees, maybe a 50 or 100 person list, it's hard to go through each individual item and look for the things that are important to you. So, for example, say I want to see who makes more than $500 a week. So first what I'll do is highlight my employees, and then up on the Home tab, see I'm on the Home tab now, if you come across to the Styles group, you'll see conditional formatting. Click on that, and you'll see there's a lot of options here. I'm going to go to Highlight Cell Rules. Remember, I want to find out who is making more than $500 a week. So I'll do greater than. And in here, remember $500 a week. And then here you have options on what you would like to highlight those cells with. If you don't like any of the options here, you can choose a custom format. Give it a second and you'll see a window pop up. In this window you can format it any way you'd like. I'm just going to change the fill color, the background, to a light yellow. And then just click OK. Click OK. And you'll see, if I click away from here, anybody that makes more than 500 is highlighted with that yellow. If I were to change their hourly wage, say George, if I were to bring him up to 15 an hour, same as Paul, he would also get highlighted yellow, and the chart and the formulas would all change as soon as I change that number.